lesson 96. This is the difference of two squares theorem. I kind of don't like that they call it this, but I'll explain why here in a minute, okay? There are two ways to solve this lovely problem, x squared equals 25. You guys learned how to do it by factoring. So it would say previously factor to solve. And you would subtract the 25 over to the other side. So you'd get x squared minus 25 equals 0, and you would factor this, x plus 5, x minus 5, and then you would solve, and you would get negative 5 and positive 5 as your solutions, right? Okay, so now the book is going to say use the difference of squares theorem to solve, which I kind of wish they would just say solve algebraically. Solve algebraically, okay? Algebraically, meaning don't factor, don't set it equal to 0. There is another way, okay? How can I get x by itself algebraically? Anybody know how to isolate the x if it's an x squared? Knox? Yeah, we can actually just square root both sides, okay? And the square root of x squared is x. And the square root of 25 is plus and minus x. A lot of people forget the plus and minus. So we get plus and minus 5. All right. Now, how come negative 5 also works, right? Like, how do I know that works? Well, if you plug negative 5 in with parentheses, right, which is what you would do if you're going to plug this in to solve, you would get positive 25. So positive 5 and negative 5 both work to solve for the equation, okay? All right. Let's not write that down. Okay. So the square root of 16... this is different. Notice there's no x. This is where people get confused. So just want to clarify. Like back in like 4th grade and they said, what's the square root of 16? Or I don't know when you guys did roots. What would you guys tell me the answer is? Yeah, and it's just 4. That is the answer. It's not also negative 4, okay? Because I'm not solving anything. There's no equal sign, okay? So it's just 4, all right? Just like before. It's just 4. All right, and now if I have a negative in front, again, there's no variable. What's the answer to that? Yeah, it's negative 4, right? So if I just ask for the square root of 16 with no variables, it does not equal plus minus 4. I didn't notice that until just now, okay? This should be, all right. Hi, thank you. Okay, it does not equal plus and minus 4, right? It just equals positive 4 for square root of 16. All right, but if you're solving like this, okay, I have x squared equals 16. I now am going to show that I square root both sides, and I get plus and minus 4, both, okay? Because of the x squared, I have 2 answers, because negative 4 squared is also positive 16, okay? All right, so let's solve a few of these. Some are nice, and some are not nice, okay? So I have p squared equals the square root of 169, so I am going to square root both sides. The square root of p squared is p, and anyone know the square root of 169? It is 13. But what do I have to remember on this lovely problem? Plus and minus. Is it fourth?
No, but it's pause.
Hold on, So you guys, don't forget the plus and minus. That's what most people forget. All right, what if it's not a nice root? What if I have q squared equals 23? All right, q squared equals 23. We still solve algebraically. This one you could not solve by factoring, by the way. This is not factor, okay? But you can solve algebraically, and you would get q equals, and we just leave it as plus or minus the square root of 23. I don't need a decimal, okay? Nothing about what it's in between. Just do plus and minus the square root of 23, okay? And now I've got this one, w squared equals 14, also not nice. So we square root both sides. W equals plus and minus the square root of 14. And that is the solution, sorry. All right, any questions?